Hello guys and welcome back. So now I wanted to talk about the context that we've learned and where the shading context comes in and the rendering context. And so far we've covered the subs context, and that includes all the geometry, all geometry creation and procedural modeling. We also took a look at the DOP context, and this includes the pop simulation, any particles, the smoke solver. So all these are in DOPs. And when it comes to lighting and shading as well as rendering, we're going to use three contexts. The sub context is the one that we're familiar with. This is where we're going to be creating the lights. So we create all the lights in this context. And then there is a matte context, and this is for all the material slash shader creations and assigning them to the object. The assignment is going to happen at the sub level, but yeah, so let's call it material slash shader creation. And then we have the ROP or the out context, and this is where we create the mantra or the renderer node. Okay, so we're going to learn about these two now and see how that works. So I have a simple scene with the ground and the statue, and if we click here we see that we have a matte and the out as well as a shop context. This is the old material. Side Effects has introduced this that has a lot more features, and we're going to be using primarily this. This will be deprecated at some point. And then we're going to take a look at the out context. So let's go to the material and hit tab. Once we do that, we get a list of all the shading related nodes that Mantra has. If there is another third-party engine, it will add another list here or something to these items where you will be able to create those shaders. But everything will be underneath this tab menu. And what Mantra comes with a variety of shaders that we can use. The primary one is called the principled shader. I'm going to create that. Let's call it statue. And then let's hit tab again, type in principled shader, and we're going to create one for the ground. Now for the assignments, we can drag and drop from here, or we can go to the OBJ context and assign it ourselves. So if we select the geo node, we go under the render tab, you see this material option here. I'm going to expand that, say this is the ground. If we take a look at the statue, we will see that we also have the material attached because we did a drag and drop. Cool, so let's create a light. So we do that in the sub context. I'm going to hit tab, type in light, and this is the mantra light. And here it has all the types available. So these are all the types available in Mantra. And then we have an environment light, which is a separate node. This is a dome light. Okay, so let's create these two guys. For the environment light, I'm going to give it a blue color and let's lower the intensity a bit. And then for the point light, I'm going to select it and change it to a distant light. And this is going to create a directional light. So I'm going to select the node, hit enter in the viewport, and then move it, and I'm going to rotate it this way. Let's move the camera a bit, let's move it down, and let's give it a orange tint. Okay, so we have two lights and we have shaders attached. Now let's go to the out context and let's hit tab. You see we have access to all the rendering related node. This context is not just about rendering, it also has geometry if you want to batch or output geometry. It also has farm management tools and various other things as well. So let's go under a render and we're going to create a mantra node. I'm going to leave everything as the default, and we can hit render to end play. And it's giving us an error. If we middle click, it says enable to initialize camera. We have to create a camera for it to work. So I'm gonna click here, say new camera, and now we have our cool cam. Okay, let's go back to the out context and let's hit render to end play. And this is default render viewer in Houdini. It's called mplay, comes with Houdini by default, and this is where we can preview all the rendering. And this is our first render. We have two shaders assigned, one for the statue and one for the ground, and we have all the we have a simple light rig that we can do our shading with. So in the next video, we're going to take a deeper look at shading and create our own custom shader. Thank you for watching, and see you in a bit.